The end of the slide presentation. We do have Sid Mathias here and Dave Stolman here and Carol Senti here, but I am going to open it up to questions. Would like to get people just to identify themselves, just who you are and where you're from, and we'll take the question.
Real quick, just before we do that, I just want to make it clear. We want to keep this open. We're going to go and give the questions to each of you. This is the magic wand. So please ask your question and do it quickly so everyone can get to it. We have these cards, and we don't want to have to use them. You guys have been fantastic and very respectful. We're grateful for that. Please keep it that way, and we can do this for the next half hour.
Cool.
Congressman Dold, I looked at your graphs earlier with the red and the green, and they're pretty, but they don't exactly show what would happen if we had gotten rid of the Bush 2003 tax cuts. There would be more revenue, there would be lower debt. Now, you voted to extend those cuts. You seem to want to continue to extend those cuts. How do you plan to pay for the cuts?
I'm not sure that I voted to do that. That happened before we got there, actually.
Part of the Ryan budget was to continue those.
We want to continue this. I think my own philosophy on that is we want to keep tax rates low. I think increasing tax rates right now in an environment where it's a pretty fragile economy is the wrong way to go. We can look at Illinois.
How would you pay for the tax cuts, sir?
I think it's going to be, we're going to have to be with growth. So it's going to be, if we talk about that, it's going to have to be with growth is the way that we're going to have to do this. We're going to have more businesses, more people create jobs in order to do that. And if we talk about just raising taxes at this point in time, I think that's the wrong approach, especially at the level that it's at right now.
Next question.
Yeah, my name is Bob. My name is Bob Melkor, and as a setup to this question, here's something from Rasmussen. It was taken May 25th, 26th of this year. 25% of all voters say they prefer a government with even more services and higher taxes over one with fewer services and lower taxes. 61% prefer a smaller government, and another 14% are not sure. The breakdown is 83% of Republicans and 65% of independents either prefer a smaller government with lower taxes. 47% of Democrats like a bigger government with higher taxes. Now, my question to you is on raising the debt ceiling. Where is it? Because you said a minute ago that it was $1.2 billion a day.
In interest, right?
Okay, I've heard there was 200. What is our monthly income? The IRS gets what revenue from a month? Do you know?
I don't know what it is a month. It fluctuates.
The figures I heard from were $200 billion in and $20 billion in taxes. Let's go with your figure, 1.2. That's 36. So it's 200 billion in, 36 billion out. Why do we don't need? We're not going to have a catastrophe if we've got $200 billion a month coming in. And I'll give you the 36 billion versus the 20 billion, somewhere in that range. We've got enough money to pay the debt. We have enough money to pay the debt. The question would be, do you believe we're going to have a catastrophe, as Bernanke and Geithner say we are, or can we pay our debt without raising the debt ceiling? There's your question.
The vast majority of people, actually, according to the poll, do not want us to raise the debt ceiling under any circumstance. Having said that, I think that what we need to be talking about is, we saw what happened with S&P, with Moody's, now Fitch. That it was a shot across the bow when they said, you know what, we've got a AAA rating, we're going to keep the AAA rating, but we've got a negative outlook going forward. Moody's did the same in terms of their saber rattling. Now, what the Speaker of the House has come out to say is that any increase in the debt ceiling needs to be coupled with spending cuts, spending reductions greater than that increase in the debt ceiling. Right now, we have not been privy to what those negotiations are. They have not shared them with us. We did have a debt ceiling vote earlier, just on a clean debt ceiling, and that was defeated resoundingly. Broad bipartisan support against raising the debt ceiling with a clean debt ceiling raise. So I don't know what's going to happen. I do know that they're trying to negotiate quickly in terms of what a deal would be. I can tell you that the appetite to raise the debt ceiling without the significant spending cuts associated with them is little or none.
paying the interest on the debt, we're not gonna have that catastrophe.
I think that what
And
ends
we're
up,
being like, it's a straw argument.
All right, next question here.
Congressman, I'm Jack
I'll
Alsher,
help you
Northborough.
next to you. Jack?
Yeah,
Thank you.
all right. I think there's agreement about promoting the 10th congressional district, and I'm sure that all of us agree we really should have that banned for prospective new employers. That's our question. I just like the idea. Here's the deal. Now, you voted for Paul Ryan's bill.
Yeah.
And with that offloading of Medicare expense, something on the order of 75–80% of the savings were going to tax reductions. They weren't going to reducing their debt. In addition, that would throw seniors out on their own. Perhaps they can get insurance, perhaps they can't. So we've got a problem about, do we really care about our seniors? So that's part of my question, and it's balanced against this. You also voted to continue the tax credits for oil companies. The biggest money earned ever in the history of the world. We're still giving millions and millions of dollars to them. So it seems you like corporations, it seems you like wealthy people, but our seniors are left out on their own. No.
Thank you for your question, and hopefully will allow me to expand on what's going on. I think we have to keep our promises to our seniors. If you look at what the proposal is, this is a blueprint plan that passed the House. Okay, it's not set in stone, it's a blueprint. We want to make sure that, what's that? It's not a law. It's not anywhere close to a law. But it's not a law. So let me just try to address it. Yeah. So what we're talking about here is we're talking about trying to make sure in this that no senior, okay, would be affected. 55 and older, there are no changes. Okay, I think that's important. And it's important to make sure that we highlight
Well,
that.
if it's a good deal, why not make it
Hold on, let me
effective
ask
right
you
now?
a question.
I think the important thing.
You can't ask a question out of.
Hang on, guys. Look, we're gonna be respectful. We're gonna get to the questions. This is a very important issue. So when we talk about trying to adjust and change, and the question is, do we save Medicare or do we let it go bankrupt? Okay, because right now, if we go down this path, I believe that we have an obligation to save. We have an obligation to save it. Okay, we have an obligation to make sure that it is here for the next generation. We want to do that. Okay, we need to make those changes, and I think in order to make those changes, we need to have bipartisan support. We need to have broad bipartisan support. This is a blueprint plan. Okay, what we know won't work is the plan that we're on right now. The plan that's on right now is not going to work. Okay, I wasn't in favor of taking the $560 billion out of Medicare in order to go and fund a different plan, and then have an IPAB, this is an independent payment advisory board. And what I want you to think about, because I want to take the political side of this out. Okay, so let's take whoever is going to be in the White House. Let's go 10 years from now. Who's going to be the person in the White House appointing the independent payment advisory board? 15 individuals, not elected, just appointed, that are going to make, in essence, determinations on what's going to be funded by Medicare and what's not. So I want you all to think about that, because I want to take the politics out. I think what we need to do is we need to strengthen this. We need to make sure that it's saved. So when we talk about what we're going to do going forward for 54 and younger, the proposal out there is talking about giving them, in essence, into an exchange system, run by Medicare, run by the government, overseen by the government. What is the only program